Welcome to the show that is yet to be named, but we're going to go with Pardon the Corruption for now. And you can guess by the name what the show is sort of about if you've seen any ESPN over the last, I don't know, 15 years. So we're going to go with it for now. Joining me today is S. Baraheni. What's going on,
What's going
man?
on? What's going on, man? I'm ready. I'm ready to corrupt our interruptions and corruptions and all that stuff. So let's do it.
I figured ESPN has fallen so far off the quality radar. You know what I mean? Their quality overall has gone down so much that it's a free for all, and we can take whatever the hell we want at this point from that dysfunctioning empire. I mean,
Good
do
point.
you read ESPN for anything
It's a
other
good
than
point.
Zach Lowe?
No. And I don't understand why people do the ESPN Plus because I know a couple of people that use ESPN Plus. I have no idea why they would ever use it. Don't
All right,
understand. Yeah.
all right. So let's set it up. It's going to be about 1 minute each for the topics, which you can see on the side of your screen, and we're going to go through all of them, and that'll be the show, short and sweet. First up, Gasol to Barca. Were you surprised at all by this?
Honestly, no. I mean, we've heard way too much rumors about Gasol leaving and potentially going to Barcelona. I know there was a couple of things over the last couple of weeks about him leaving. So no, I'm not surprised at all. But I had said this before free agency that if Gasol was going anywhere, it would be to Barcelona or he's retiring for good. Because I don't really think he was willing, especially in COVID and everything like that, to move his family, his kids to another NBA city and try to do this whole bubble thing again. It just didn't make a lot of sense. So I love Mark for what he did over the past 2 years, but I'm happy that he's headed to Barcelona. Salute to you. Enjoy your time in Spain. I've never been there, but the beaches are supposedly amazing, so enjoy.
I think it's a good farewell. It also saves us the embarrassment of like not extending him a contract. It kind of goes both ways. Like he won a title, and it just worked out for both ways because we don't have to do anything. You know, we don't have to feel bad, if you will. And
Yeah.
he just moves on to his next thing. And I'm sure he'll do fine in Spain because he's a known entity there. He's popular. He's extremely famous there. So it's all good for Marc Gasol.
Yep.
Which brings us to his replacement. Now, are you going for a like-for-like center replacement, or are you looking at maybe going to the bench, and are you a Chris Boucher fan?
I am definitely not a Chris Boucher fan. I've sold all of my Chris Boucher stock. All right. I don't believe in him that much. But at the same time, I think that it's really hard to go like for like and try to find someone that can do what Marc Gasol does on the offensive and the defensive end for the Raptors. So realistically, whatever way you go, whether it's with the draft or if you go with free agency, it's going to be a step down from what you had with Marc Gasol. There's no question about it. Can we talk about a Harry Giles, though? Maybe having that passing center, who we saw a lot of highlights of him passing this year. Maybe Nerlens Noel to have that rim protector, rim runner type of guy that we see with Ibaka a little bit in Gasol as well. Can that be those two guys? Those are the two guys I think could be cheap options. I'm not sure. But at the same time, I think the draft is also somewhere that they might look into.
I'm going to give you one name. Kelly Olynyk is a free
Oh,
agent. Bring the Canadian home. Yeah, he's due for a raise at 12 mil he made last year, but I think we can afford to give him a little bit more. I don't know, mid-level. Would he go for the mid-level? I highly doubt it, but maybe there's something we can squeeze in, maybe some sort of a deal that Masai can pull off. If he does that, man, that solves a couple of problems because he's also a good three-point shooter.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. He can extend the range a little bit. I don't know if I trust the Kelly Olynyk to be my backup center. That just gets me queasy a little bit. I don't know if I trust him, but all right, I'll listen to you. Also, he's a Vancouver man. I think he'll wait until the Grizzlies have a team.
Yeah, so he's got to wait till, I don't know, 2040. All right. Up next, step back year. A lot of people saying that next year is going to be the step back year. Like we got to take a step back to take 2 steps forward, blah, blah, blah. I personally thought this year was supposed to be the step back year with Pascal Siakam developing, OG coming back. And we weren't really expected to come back to the NBA Finals. So everything was kind of gravy after a certain point. Next year, is it a step back year?
I don't think it's a step back year at all. I think realistically, minus Gasol, you have pretty much everybody else coming back. Now, I know Fred VanVleet and Serge Ibaka are still free agents, but I think at what the Raptors assume is they'll be able to retain both those guys. And when you look at the roster in general, this is a team that can, especially in the East, compete for being a contender in the top 4 or 5 teams. I don't think there's going to be any type of step back. I think there might actually take a step forward. Pascal's going to learn a couple of things so he can be a little bit more consistent on the offensive end. And then you have OG who's going to develop into his own right. Fred VanVleet who's obviously going to learn some things, and Kyle just doing Kyle Lowry type things. I don't think this team is going to take a step back at all. I think they're just preparing for what 2021 is supposed to be, which is supposed to be free agency galore.
Yeah, I think if anything, this year was a step back year. Next year, it's all steps forward. The only argument you could make is Kyle Lowry's getting a little older, so he may not be as amazing as he usually is. So we may see some step back from a player perspective, but from an overall roster perspective, I think we're only going to improve. Which brings us to our next topic, which is looking at the Eastern Conference Finals. The Celtics, man, we should not have lost the Celtics. But hypothetically, would the Raptors have beaten the Heat given what you've seen in the 6 games against Boston?
Okay, first, before I go into my answer, credit to the Heat because they did an awesome job. They did all the things that you want. I'll give you this prototypical answer, the generic statement of, they worked hard, they did this, they did that. Yeah. Sure. But at the same time, yeah, the Raptors would have blown the water out of the Miami Heat. There's no question. Because if you look at what the Raptors can do defensively to the Miami Heat is something that the Celtics just were not able to do at all throughout that series. And I just trust the Raptors defense way more than I do the Celtics defense. Now, granted, this is coming from a team that just lost to the Celtics, but we're not talking about that, all right? We're talking about if the Raptors can beat the Miami Heat, and I think that is totally possible.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say, like, yeah, we could have beaten them, but man, looking at that series, Bam Adebayo, we still maybe don't have a great answer for. And also, I mean, Siakam, if he continued struggling the way he did against the Celtics, if he did the same thing against the Heat, maybe the outcome is the same. But overall, there's nothing in Miami that was like, oh man, that can hurt us. Goran Dragic is one guy that has historically hurt the Raptors. So he probably is the scariest dude after Jimmy Butler on that team for us.
Yeah. Also, I would have said, that last game that the Heat and the Raptors played, I think Fred VanVleet and Kyle Lowry really figured out how to attack the perimeter, and that was kind of eye-opening for the team. I think they realized how to beat Miami in that one game. So I think Fred and Kyle would have had great series if it were to be a Raptors-Miami thing. But you never know now. You never know now.
The irony is that this is literally loser talk. It's like the losers talking about beating the team that's going to the NBA Finals, so we're going to leave that aside. All right, man. Final topic is the Raptors jersey designs. It came out. It's got the. What do you think of them? You can see them on the screen. What's your first impression of these things?
Yeah, I mean, first impression, I hated it. I despised every single second of it when I was looking at it. But then once people started to Photoshop it onto players and things like that, it grew on me. I started to like it a little bit more. I think the other variations, not the red, but the black and the white look really, really nice. They're really crisp. Hopefully we'll change our sponsorship from Sun Life to maybe an OVO, maybe something else that would be a little bit nicer on a Raptors jersey. But the one thing I got to say is bring the damn purple back. Just do us a favor and bring the purple back. It was a perfect color, rarely used by a lot of NBA teams. I think the Jazz, the Pelicans, and the Kings are the only 3 teams that use it. Just use purple. It's a blessed color. You're a freaking dinosaur. It works. Just use it. Thank you very much.
It's also a tip to the past. I like the jersey overall. I think I might even purchase it. But the missing purple is something that always bugged me. It doesn't have to be like obscene, right? It just has to be a little lining here, a little. Maybe it'll be on the shorts.
Okay.
Maybe the inside tag will be purple.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe the what's it called? The Mitchell and S on the back or whatever it is. Yeah, that would be purple. Yeah, I'll take that. It's fine.
All right, man. That's it. Short and sweet. That wraps up the show called Pardon the Corruption. Think of a better name.
Yeah,
if you got a better name, let us know.
Yes, do.
Goodbye.